the special council meeting on Monday, July 8th. We'll now rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Dave Gaddis.
Here.
Councilmember Jody Shirley.
Here.
Councilmember Rita Swope.
Here.
Vice Mayor Glenn Dunn.
Here.
Mayor Joseph Manzo.
Here.
City Manager Lynn Reeves.
Here.
Community Services Administrator Kyle Reifler.
Here.
And council members Robin Aki and Marvin Beam have not arrived.
Okay, thank you. We have one item agenda, which is the authorization of the city manager to execute an agreement for accounting services. And that's to consider short-term proposals for the accounting services brought on by the departure of Melanie Ozona. Do we have to approve that agenda because it's a special council meeting, or we need a motion to approve it? Can I have a motion to approve it? Let's just...
So moved.
Second, and any all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Against? It passes unanimously. It's now open for discussion.
Mayor and Council, I got this late Friday night from Jackie. A couple issues that we'll have to discuss long term. In a short term situation, we need to decide. It appears we can use a consultant, but because the charter says that there is a treasurer, someone at some point is going to have to be appointed a treasurer. And we'll get deeper in that, but for now, I'm just trying to fill the gap until we can dig further into that. But I gave you two proposals, one from Melanie and another one from Andrew Tess. Andrew Tess, just to give you a little background, he does this work currently for the city of Bel Air Bluffs and Gulfport. And he has a new person, Heather, that works with him. They're both CPAs. However, his cost is significantly more. And Melanie has given us proposals for 2 3-month periods. The first starting July 15th with a flat rate of $3,500 a month. And then an extension through January of the same fee. I asked her to, initially she gave me a proposal for so much an hour, and she'd spend X amount of hours a week here. And then everything else would be $85 an hour. And I said, I need something flat proposal. I don't want any further than that. So I've given you both proposals. It's really up to the city council. If we use Mr. Tess, it would cost us about $6,000 more or thereabouts.
And I had a couple of questions in reviewing this. Melanie makes her proposal under Black Swan Ventures. It doesn't say, even though she signs it, that she is in fact the person who's going to do this. I'm sure that's a reasonable assumption, but I don't want to assume anything. Is she the only person who will be working on this account? And do you think she'd be amenable if we select her to changing that to specify? Because obviously, if I'm going to vote for Black Swan, I want Melanie to do it and not for her to sub it out to somebody.
Well, this is her company, and the address on it is her condo. And, you know, we would revert this into a contract, you know, not just her proposal letter. You know, I've talked to Jackie about, you know, converting it into a contract.
I would want that
And we could add
guarantee that she's the person, not, you know, that she's acting as a, you know, as a firm, if you will. And I believe Melanie, although she has certifications, she's not a CPA,
No.
correct? But the other firm is CPA, are CPAs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Melonie's contract, I know, has a 30-day kick-out clause where she can, or we can get out of this with 30 days notice, and the other firms does not.
Right.
And also Melanie highlights the fact that with her, and again, I'm assuming she's going to be the representative, there's no training necessary, and that, at least in my mind, is a nice plus. So that was my comments on Black Swan Ventures. And I think the only question I had was that the other contract doesn't have that. It's a 6-month contract, so it's mandated at 6 months. There is no kick-out clause, and I'm concerned about what the training level would be also, and who would have to do that, because that falls back to you, and I know you've cross-trained a few people, but at your comfort level, I'd like to know, if we went with this.
Well, I mean, they do this work for other cities, so I don't think that's a major situation, but what I guess my concern is, I guess where I'm at right now, even though I think they're very competent, I'm concerned about spending the excess money. And we can live with what we have for now, I think, if the council's agree.
I was reviewing our charter this weekend, and I have to go back through it, so I'm not going to pull from it. I thought there was a provision where we have the ability to do amendments or resolutions to that. So we may not be, I just quickly read what you placed in front of us here from Mr. Marino's firm, but I don't know that we're locked into not.
Yeah, and
being able to
that's
allow
what
this.
that's what we need to dig into a little more. And with 6 months, there could be an opportunity to hire someone part-time anyway that only wants to do it 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah, we were just discussing that. I think if something changes in the laws that makes something illegal in the charter, or if there's some administrative efficiency or something. So
Right.
we need to look at that.
And I think if we push this out 6 months, we're getting into a charter review committee start anyway, so this could be something, if we had to amend it, we could. So that's another option. So I think everything kind of falls at the right time. And you actually, with Melanie, you have 3 and 3, the other one you have 6, but either way, and we'll figure it out in 6 months if we could even do an amendment or an ordinance change or something.
There's no way this other group would consider splitting it up to 6 months to the 3 and 3, so we could try them out?
He first gave me a year, and he's, after a discussion with the mayor last week, I went back to him, because I told him at the time, we would have to bid it out anyway, eventually, if we did this. But this is a stopgap at this point in time.
I have a question. Who will be actually presenting the reports during the council meetings?
Doesn't look like anyone.
Well, they will provide the report in both cases. You aren't going to
It's
be
provided, but it says that
No.
that Melanie will not attend
No.
any council meetings.
No.
Or will the other? Tess will not.
Okay. Also, I see that basically there's really I don't see an audit factor for what we're submitting. So, what's our checks and balances on what details we are actually submitting to being reported?
You mean for the audit?
Well, just in general, it says basically no responsibility for errors city staff may make in coding deposits or invoices.
Well, she's just, as an example, the city staff's going to have to be very careful about how they code stuff. Coding's not the issue. It's, once in a while, someone makes a mistake on a deposit, so we're just going to have a cross-check. That's all that is.
Dave, just a couple of things with any checks that are signed from the city, they have to be countersigned, so Glenn Gunner and myself has to sign one of those checks, so that's one control on the city. The audit is continuing, so we continued that last
Right.
council meeting, so that audit begins September, I believe.
Next month.
Next month, yeah. So, but any audit is never designed to be 100%. It gives you a general level of assurance, but there could be little things that are missed. So it's designed to catch big stuff, but that's basically the level of satisfaction that we would have, which pretty much even would be, I think, even if we have a person in-house, it's not going to be any greater.
No,
We don't have an internal audit department or anything like that.
no, we're too small. Unless you want to add a position.
You want to make a proposal?
Good.
Any other council questions or comments?
I have a couple. Have we begun the advertising for permanent replacement at this point?
No, this is what I'm trying to determined tonight, and no, we haven't. And the way it's set up in the budget, it would be a part-time position, so we wouldn't have to go out and advertise that. I just want to clear up what we can do with the attorney. That's one of the first things. Because the initial opinion that I received was that we would have to appoint someone city treasurer because of the audit, or because of the chart. And we need to dig further into that.
It says, according to the section 4.05, it says that the city treasurer shall be the chief financial officer for the city and shall also serve as the deputy city clerk. How does that work? So what's Patty's title?
She's the city clerk.
So then she then,
If Patty got sick, I can tell you the time I've been here, Melanie had to do it one time for a code hearing. And the whole time I've been here. Patty may tell you she's done it any.
One other time
Yeah.
since I've been here.
Yeah, so that was just evidently set up in the charter to cover something if someone wasn't here.
and then I have a concern about Melanie is that she indicated to us that she had a great opportunity to move into another job. How can she possibly run a full-time position? I mean, okay, so she's not doing the data entry, but everything else would still be her responsibility, yet work a full-time job. I don't see that reasonably being,
Yeah, and I don't know what she's doing. She did not tell us. She just told me she had another job.
This is speculation, but I would guess that this is her new job.
She has been a consultant before, and she has done this type. She has a side accounting service and things like that. I do know that, but she does do side stuff.
What literally changes, I mean, aside from an extra body to backfill on the desk and answer the telephone or do some of those administrative tasks, and the clerical task with bookkeeping entries and stuff like that, it's going to be farmed out to someone. But I mean, what literally changes other than, she's going to come in and do the books, which she basically did. The only thing that really changes is some of the clerical stuff, like the data entry stuff will be with different people in your staff.
Yeah, the payroll, we've transferred to ADP, so that is done. And actually, Laura and I did the first payroll today. There's some tweaks we got to do, but it worked out fine. There's a lot of reporting and stuff, things that we got to get through with the budget, the trim notices and stuff, that it's, that's really what we're going to be using Melanie for mainly, is those things.
I'm just trying to put all of this in the scales and balance it out. And in one respect, it's nice having her in your back pocket because she's familiar with the systems and knows where things might be or whatever. Other than that, the other guy gives us a chance to try out somebody new. Bill Bluffs is very happy with them. I don't know, I'm kind of caught up in the middle of whether, you're just going for the lowest bidder to do the job and it'll get done satisfactorily, or is there some more value add or better stuff?
At this point, I can't say that there's more value added other than the fact that they have, I'll say, better credentials. But, Beller Bluffs is happy with Mr. Tess. I can't, but we're in a critical time with the budget. And there will be a little learning curve for them also. So it's, if this would have happened October 1st, it would have been a different animal.
Their credentials, their CPA credentials, it's wonderful, and I am the CPA, so I know, but it's also, as I read what's going to happen, a lot of this is pretty much bookkeeping, and it's not, CPA is a little bit of an overkill. You need the CPA for the audit. We're not using them, this group, for the audit, but I think that's something that down the road they might be interested in. But this is more straight accounting, it's basic accounting, and as you say, like, you know, something like doing payroll is a matter of phoning in the hours and verifying it against the timesheet, so it's not.
You don't even gotta phone them, you just go to.
Now it's computer, right? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward now, so.
Of course, we spent what was supposed to be about 30 minutes, because we had a lot of questions, I guess. We spent almost 2 hours with them today, and I'm sure we'll
Spend 5 minutes in the future, it won't take long.
there's still some things we gotta clean up, but it's minor stuff.
Yeah, what I'm going to have to say really doesn't mean anything right now, but for the information for the new council members and the mayor, at one time, Melanie's position did the police department, which we had 6, 7 people, plus 3 other people that worked and took care of the sewer system. So since then, a lot of responsibilities have gone down. And in that period of time, Lynn, correct me if I'm wrong, there has never been a review of that position since those positions were eliminated. So we may not have needed Melanie's position for the last 10 years. It's a possibility.
Well, we need part of it.
Yes.
But we haven't done a charter review in 10 years, so that kind of coincides
I
with
think
what you're
it's-
saying.
I think the charter review's been done, but that position has never been looked at since those positions were.
I just took a super fast look at the charter. You do have to do it by going to the voters. I don't think we can do an ordinance, but that still has to go to the voters, and they get to make the call on it. So we don't have any election coming up, so this is probably going to get caught up in the charter review, and whenever that result comes back. So, you know, we're going to have to work with legal or new legal to see what we can do. This is a good test of what we're going to be bringing in here to see what, you know, what we can work around here and still make this happen so that we don't commit ourselves to a
We don't wanna
full-time
get you
position that we
in
don't
trouble.
probably need, it sounds like. Okay. Any other council questions? Audience, citizens, any questions or comments on this before we send it to vote? None. Patty, I believe it has to be a ballot, right? Because we have a
No,
vote.
no, you can make somebody can make a motion to do they want to elect, and just a roll call.
Well, are we going to say who we're awarding to?
Yeah, somebody will make a motion, they want to, Black Swan or.
I'll make a motion that we backfill the temporary services with Melanie and Bryce.
Then you need a second.
Second?
Second.
We've had discussion, so let's go to a vote on that. We'll need 4 votes. We have full, I know for the record, everyone's present now. So we can just do a hand vote, or we should do it by person.
Councilmember Aki,
So, if I vote yes, that means I'm going for
You know what, let me throw something out. I can't, under our rules, I can't make a motion. We're trying to fix that down the road. Can somebody make a motion that if we're doing Black Swan, that it be confirmed that in fact it's Melanie Crozona who would be doing this work?
Yeah.
I don't want another person doing it, because I would not vote for this if I knew it was someone else.
Yeah, we'll make, but we would put that in the contract. So what you're doing is.
But then somebody just has to amend with what Vice Mayor just said, so we need an amendment, just that we're specifying that it's Black Swan,
I make a motion to
AKA.
specify that it's specifically Melanie.
A second on that?
Second.
So now we're on the amendment, which is going to specify that it's Black Swan, AKA Melanie Crozona. All in favor of that? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay,
2 nays, 3 nays?
not, I'm opposed.
2 nays. Okay, so we have 2 nays. This is just to change it that Black Swan means it's Melanie Crozona. So it passes 5-2. Now we vote on the amended motion, which is to let this contract out to the city, or give this to the city manager to enter into a 3, potentially 6-month contract with Black Swan, AKA Melanie Crozona. That's what's now before the board. Patty?
Councilmember Aki,
Aye.
Councilmember Bean,
Nay.
Councilmember Gaddis,
Aye.
Councilmember Shirley,
Nay.
Councilmember Swope,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Gunn,
Nay.
Mayor Mandel.
Aye. Passes 4-3. So, city manager, please enter into a minimum 3-month contract. Don't go any further than that, and then you're authorized to go up to 6 though, but since we can do it 3 and 3, let's do 3 and 3.
Yeah, I'll talk to the attorney tomorrow.
And on that contract, specify that Black Swan is in fact Melanie. So if it's not, then we're back to where we started.
Can I add something to that? So if we have Melody in for a 3-month contract, that will get us through the budget and through our tax cycle. And what's the plan then moving forward? Assuming we're going to continue with a part-time or a contract position, would the plan be as we start advertising right away?
Well, we would,
Either way, we should start advertising.
we've got to advertise something, yes. And I've got to clear up some issues with, because of what the charter says, we may have to advertise for a part-time employee as opposed to a part-time consultant.
So what would the deadline be for the advertising? At what point can we say, in 10 days, Lynn will have this out in the public and advertised? We just need to have a drop-dead date, because then clearly you're going to need a month to receive those resumes, review them. There's a
Well,
whole time process.
As I understand it, the council's given me up to 6 months. Right now, I need to get through the budget and the millage process. I will work on it. It may not be out in 2 weeks, but it'll get out there as soon as possible. The priority right now is the budget, get through the millage, and then we're, because we've got to adopt the budget and the millage rate.
Patty, can we put this is a long-term unfinished business, but this should be coming up for discussion no later in our December council meeting.
Oh, yeah, we have
go
to
6 months
finalize
out, we're at December 31st approximately, and we can't be advertising on December 31st. We have to actually have this filled.
No, we need to do it much before.
Yeah, I
that.
disagree completely. That ad needs to hit the, public no less than 30 days from today.
Well, I'm not going to guarantee anything because I have many other priorities right now. But we'll get something together and see what we get.
We have an HR consultant. We can have them help us with the search process if we need to.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jennifer about that.
And I had one other question. The insurance on either of these people, who's covering for insurance for errors and omissions? Is that, do they provide that for us, or does neither of them specify in the contract?
That's a question I'll take up with the attorney.
The attorney or the, did you say
Well,
the attorney or the?
I'll take it up with the attorney for the contractors. They'll have to have some type of insurance.
We have a motion to adjourn the special meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Sit tight. We go into special session for workshop. So we'll call that to order. Good evening. This is the City of Bel Air